I'm Eric Loy, and welcome to Eric Loy Interviews. On this podcast, we talk with folks from the VTuber community on their channels, their talents, their stories, where they come from, and their plans for the future. I would like to welcome Princess Honeybat. Hi.
Hello.
Hey, thanks for coming on. Please introduce yourself to everybody.
Hi, I'm Princess Honeybat. I debuted earlier this week. I would give you some big rhetoric about my backstory, but really what it boils down to is I liked bats, and I didn't want to be not sweet, so here we are.
You are the knight. Do you have a bat car that you get to drive around in?
My real life car is black, if that counts for anything. But here's the glorious part of this. I have a sun allergy, so we don't drive the car very much regardless.
Oh, the sun is a big ball of fire that we should avoid at all times.
Agreed. The honeybat portion really makes more sense the more time you spend around me and realize that going outside is dangerous.
Join us, folks that have no vitamin D whatsoever. I go into the doctor and says, I've never seen anybody with a negative vitamin D before. I said, I'm number one.
Unique vitamin D counts really help, you know?
Yes, that's right. You'd be surprised what the human body can do without, especially vitamin D. So you just debuted this week. Is it one of those debuts where you actually started, or did you start well before that?
I had not started at all. I had done like 2 or 3 streams on a completely different channel back when I was playing World of Warcraft, and I was like, man, I like this. I do not like what I'm doing with it. And I spent some time researching to kind of make a VTuber and go from there. Don't worry, you could find those other streams and still not find out that it's me, even if you match the voice, because it doesn't have anything on there either. It's just me running in circles being a tank in World of Warcraft, which we don't do that anymore. I'm cooler than that now.
You've progressed. Now you're up to Fortnite.
Oh, yeah.
I actually have a coworker who is big into Fortnite, and she comes in the next day after a session all night, and she can't even move. She hasn't slept at all. I'm like, Fortnite night. Yeah, okay, fine. So why did you get started in the first place?
I think I kind of always wanted to try streaming. I've been in MMOs and in different guilds and been guild leaders, and I've always tried to do that, be entertaining. It's just part of the personality of me when I play games anyway. Mm-hmm. So whenever I kind of started looking at streaming, my big thing was always I didn't want to show my face. And it's not because I have some issue with myself or anything. I have family. Mm-hmm. I have little nephews and you know, my sister and my mom, and I just didn't want people to like see me, figure out who I was, and harass them. So it always put me off of that. And then VTubing came out and just kept being this bigger and bigger thing. And I was just watching it and going, man, I can be loud and obnoxious too. And it just, I don't know, it makes sense. I like to interact with people. I like to be friendly with my chat. I have a couple people who come by each time I stream already who I didn't know before I started a stream, and I adore them. Pixie, Evil, and Wolf are like some of my favorite people now, and I will check on them every day, and I'm so happy when they're there. I like talking to people. I like knowing what's going on in their world, so being able to do that while I game and try to develop a connection with people it's just what brings me joy.
Oh, it is. It's amazing the wide variety of people that you meet and the different stories and backgrounds and their talents and what they bring to the table and what they're sometimes taking very, very cautious steps into society that they normally wouldn't before, or trying to find themselves in a way. It's just every story is amazing to me, and the ability to interact with them and create your own story with them is something else too.
Oh, absolutely. The amount of just the differences that come from different people and different cultures has always been so interesting to me. And I don't know. I feel like sometimes we're surrounded by cynical people a lot in the gaming industry who will get kind of down, or they get a little negative because they died in a game that's like a PvP game or something.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just always been something where I don't want to be upset about that, and I want to get to know people, and getting to hear stories of things that happened in Germany or things that are happening right now in Thailand. And the world is so diverse, and it's so amazing to me. And maybe it's because I can't leave my house all that much.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why I find all of it so fascinating. But even in my neighborhood in real life, my neighbors and I are completely different. I've got a neighbor to the left and a neighbor to the right, and we have nothing in common except that we live in the same area. It's just so cool.
Yeah, I haven't really talked about it as this before, but you do create your own neighborhoods in VTubing, don't you? People who
absolutely,
and again, they don't have to be even the same type of streamer. They could just share one interest with them, or you just get along with them for some reason. It doesn't need to be a big reason. And now you've got a friend who's upside down from you on the other side of the planet. and the world becomes so small, which is a very good thing, but also can be pretty scary at times. Has that hit you yet? I mean, that your potential audience is 90% of the planet?
I don't know. I think I didn't even expect anybody to show up at all. Like this debut week, I kind of expected it to be like me and 2 or 3 of my friends. And then when new people started to show up, it's just, there's been people who don't have, like, they're not VTubing themselves. And I got raided my second day by another streamer, Fallen Thespian, and I'm just going to call him out here because he has been so nice to me.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. Like, I was streaming Subnautica, and I guess he was too, and it made sense to raid me that day. They have been such a great person to me about all of this. They have just shown up and talked in my streams and helped me through things and brought people to me and talked to me about how to do different things with stream bots. And it's just something that I never really thought was going to expand past, like, my couple of friends.
Yeah.
And getting to have new people come in and interact, even if they're only there for a couple seconds, or I check my analytics and, somebody popped in from Australia or some other country, makes me smile. And the world is small for me. I work from home. I only can really go outside for like the 25 minutes like at a time before I have to wear a ton of sunscreen.
Yeah.
And so like I don't get to go interact with a ton of people, and being able to do this as a way to interact with anybody anywhere has opened a lot of doors. And I always had that from MMOs in the first place, but now it's one of those things that really hits because they're not in a guild with me. It might not be a person who I'm running a dungeon with right then, but it is someone who I can talk to no matter what I'm doing as long as they're there. And that's unique.
You showed your hand talking about running a dungeon. Yeah,
that's true.
All right.
I have done those
in
the past.
So D&D stuff, eh?
I actually every Sunday right now have a D&D campaign that I play with a couple of people that I know from real life. And but our DM and 2 other people in the campaign I have never met, and our DM lives in England. So already we're stretching kind of across the plains, because I'm in the US and most of my friends are, but our DM is if he asks, Lewis is a graceful god.
Yes.
Graceful.
Yes. Get on the good side as much as you can. You don't want to hear those dice rolling in the background.
And then a couple times a year, I go to visit my sister and my nephews, and I DM a family-oriented campaign that I run for them. It's been really interesting trying to teach them how to do that because my nephews are currently 8 and 10, and we started this when they were 7 and 9.
Oh.
So trying to teach them about like, okay, you can only move 5 squares or 6 squares, and they're just like, why?
Yeah. You can't see around the corner yet, but I'm right there. Nope, you can't. It's too dark.
We spend a lot of time, like, I would introduce like a small amount per campaign. So our first little campaign with them was just like they're in adventuring school and they're learning how to do things.
Yeah.
And One of them really thought he wanted to be a cleric. He was obsessed with it. He was telling me about it, and he would be like, "Yeah," and then I'm gonna hit people with my mace, and I'm like, "That's not really what they normally do." And he's like, "Cool. So can I sneak up behind people and poison them?" I was like, "Again, that's just really not." But I mean, like, we can, and I would try to explain to him how we could make it work as a cleric, and eventually we landed on and said he has gone full wild magic barbarian because he gets so worked up that he'll just start screaming while we're playing. So every time he just starts screaming while we're playing, we
Well,
just, all right, well, that's going to be a rage charge. And he's like, ah.
man. That's so. Is he like chaotic good or something all the time, or is he?
We had to mark him as chaotic neutral because he was trying to hit his mother with with his stuff all the time. I had to like put my foot down. There was no PvP, and he's like, "Fine, fine, fine. Can I at least pick her up and like shove her?" And I'm like, well, yeah. I mean, I guess like the intent there isn't necessarily. I guess,
Yeah,
right? Like,
yeah.
I
Okay.
don't know why.
Yeah, I guess you can shove your mom. I guess that's fine. Yeah.
Yeah. He loves his mom too. Like
Yeah.
they are so attached at the hip, him and my sister, when they're not playing that I just don't understand where the violence comes from once we start. But it's there and I
Yeah.
just gotta let him have it.
That's the chaotic neutral coming right out. Yeah. We when I played, it was in the 1800s, and we basically had two books. That was it. We had just a
I think
few, just a few rules, not like it is now.
mm,
But the stigma was a lot was was not a lot, but was still there back then.
yeah, yeah.
But nowadays there's so many people who have had some experience with it. I don't think it's thought of the same way. And every game that has an RPG element is beholden to Dungeons and Dragons. Um,
It's true.
it's you wouldn't have hit points or spell points or I'm going to use a word that for a long time only people who played Dungeons and Dragons knew. Psionics.
Oh man.
Everybody wanted to have a psionic blast.
I think it's all I if I could have one in real life, I would probably make going to the grocery store a lot easier
Oh,
because
yes.
obviously being like stuck at home all the time, I'm
Mm.
not so great around people in person anymore. So when I go to the store, I'm just like, scoot away, scoot, go, 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 go. Like I'm sitting there staring at the yogurt, waiting for people to clear out from
Yes.
around it, and then like making a beeline.
Yes. Being in line with the person who's trying to pay with a third party check from the old Soviet Union or something. Yeah, but it worked last week. No, it didn't, ma'am. And expired
Keep
coupons
trying.
for other stores. And you're like,
Hmm.
that's yeah, yeah. I wish I had one of those too. Everybody is glad that I don't. Yes, but it was a lot of fun back then. And did that? You're still playing it now. Does how? What makes it enjoyable for you?
I think I can't even say that I have any one thing that
Uh-huh.
really makes it enjoyable, but like the ability to not have to worry about some of the things that impact me in real life.
Mm,
Or it's just it's I think it's the same one of those same reasons I like VTubing is I can in games, whether it be tabletop or computer games or whatever, I don't have to worry about sunshine or can I eat that
mm,
necessarily. It depends
yeah,
on the game.
yeah.
But in real life, I have a lot of health issues, and it's been something that has progressively gotten worse as I've gotten older.
Mm.
We won't discuss how old I am, but I will say that my chat likes to call me a hag already, so that gives you enough detail there.
Well, I'll tell
Uh,
you this. I am 59, so you aren't. Until there.
that's true. I am younger than that. I will
Yes,
go. I am
yes.
older than 20, and I am less than 40, and that is the best we're getting right
That's
now.
that's perfectly
But
good. That's perfectly good.
my I don't know, a couple years ago, I actually ended up in the emergency room because I
Ah,
was having such bad stomach issues and I like
mm,
we thought I was having a heart attack because the signs for a woman are very closely just resemble like bad indigestion, you know?
yeah.
Like men have like your left arm hurts and all of this, but with women
Mm,
it's like you feel sleepy, your stomach hurts, like it's the same things as like an anxiety attack too. It's so hard to
right.
determine.
Yeah.
And I was so stress. And I got there and they ran a bunch of tests, and obviously we confirmed it wasn't a heart attack. And then that sent me down a line of a lot of different things. And I basically had to cut down to, there was a couple of months earlier this year where I just lived off of like bone broth for like 2 months. And then now we have chicken, rice, a certain amount of broccoli, not too much, and zucchini. And I was able to do that. And then this morning I got a coffee because I can have coffee. But here's the beautiful thing about that is I still have to be careful with that, because depending on what kind of coffee and where it's from, if it has a preservative in it I haven't been exposed to, I could still end up sick again.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
So
that's learning and reteaching your body how to have food. I've actually done that myself because at one point I was so large that we did the Roux-en-Y bypass surgery. I don't think I mentioned this before. That's what they used to call stomach stapling.
Right.
Still got a lot of that weight off, thankfully. But in that, you basically have to reteach your body how to do things, because your stomach just doesn't handle it. And I can safely say that pureed food isn't the best.
No. I miss textures so much right now.
Yeah.
Because, like, if I eat raw broccoli, I can have even less of it than when it's cooked. So right now, the majority of my meals... I did get baked potatoes back last week. Forgot about that.
There you go. Can you butter them?
So, like, if I add... no butter right now.
Oh.
So I did baked potato and I do boiled chicken, and then I can have nutritional yeast. So like it's close enough to cheese is what I'm telling myself. But like I'll be streaming Subnautica and like my character will be hungry and I'll be like, oh yeah, I forgot to feed them. Kind of like I forgot to feed myself. Man, I'm hungry. And people are like, well, what's keeping you from eating this? This is what's keeping me from eating.
Yeah.
Because when I eat, I'm sad.
Yeah. It is. It does get that way. I can also tell people this. Do not, under any circumstances, puree ham.
It just ends up tasting like potted meat, but worse somehow.
And the texture is like...
It's so wrong.
The texture ends up being like fiberglass. Don't do it. Don't do it. It's However, spaghetti sauce is good.
Spaghetti sauce is always fantastic. I am so excited because next week I get to try tomatoes.
Ooh,
so
yes.
If I can do that, I can get close enough to spaghetti sauce.
Yes. You're gonna. This is gonna be a chance for you to find all sorts of ways to get around this stuff.
It's definitely interesting. It's really encouraged me to garden, which again sounds weird. But did you know you can also garden at night, guys? Yeah. There's no rule.
And there's actually an REM song called "Gardening at Night," which you just reminded me of. And I was an REM fan back in the earliest days, and we would ride throughout the country and play the original EP all the time. So just mentioning gardening at night makes me feel good. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Yeah, you. And I'm gonna bring this up. You can smack me down these lines if you like, but you are almost forced to be in a situation that some gamers are stereotyped as.
Oh yeah, and it's so funny because I fought that stereotype for so much of my life. So I was like a little goth kid, obviously, when I was in high school, and I live in the South, like in the Bible Belt in the U.S., so that did not go over super smooth here, but I've always been, I guess you'd call it personable. I'm loud, I'm happy, and it doesn't matter. I just like the way that those clothes looked.
Yeah.
So I always fought really hard against the, like, staying inside and not wanting to interact with people. I would force myself to go out, and I would go to parties when I was in high school and be like, hey, don't drink, guys. Let's go party over here where it's safe. Like... Because, I don't know, I also have severe anxiety, and I just knew that drinking when we were underage wasn't cool. And so I spent all this time doing that. I got an office job at 16, like a full-time job at a tech support center.
Wow.
And that's what got me into gaming.
Hmm.
So like even at 16, like I'd be hanging out with these people who were working there and they'd be like, "Oh, you'll like this game, World of Warcraft." And I was like, "I don't want to play that. I don't want to do that. You can't make me like and fight it." And then I'd go home and play like Zelda instead for a night. But I was like doing art and going to concerts and all of these things. And then about, let's see, about 7 or 8 years ago, right before COVID,
Hmm.
I transitioned to a more remote kind of job. I had been put into like a management position and I was helping them with their first work from home team. So like I got to do some work from home stuff and then it just kept being more like that. And then I started to notice like, man, if I'm outside in the sun for like 20 minutes, I get really itchy.
Mm.
And then I started to notice the hives were coming up. And then I
Yeah.
started to notice that like going to the store was causing me to have like panic attacks and
Hmm.
it just spiraled out of nowhere and I spent a lot of time trying to figure it out. Yeah, we figured out some of it's ADHD related, some of it's like anxiety from after COVID.
Right.
Some of it is just you hit a certain age sometimes and your body changes. And my body decided it didn't want to go outside.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I do what I can still. If I reapply sunscreen like every hour, I'm good. But like if I go outside and do stuff, like even cutting my grass, I have to like wear like one of those kind of see-through shawls that covers most of my body. I have like one of those giant floppy hats like you would have
Hmm.
seen in the first scene of Titanic when she's like getting out of the car, but it's black.
Yes.
And then like I'm just coated head to toe in sunscreen. So like I go outside to cut the grass and even if I wanted to take like a 10-minute break or I was only outside for like an hour and I didn't really get that dirty because I went on a walk, I have to take a shower every single time
Yeah.
because it's always covered in sunscreen.
Hmm.
And it's just like I like people sometimes. I like going outside sometimes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, just compared to where I was,
Yeah.
it's not even like it's that big of a deal anymore. I think 10 years ago, I would have been a lot more panicked about the fact that I have to be at home as much as I am.
Hmm.
But now the world is a lot more connected and
Yeah.
it's a lot less scary.
In some ways, it's a lot less scary. It's not all fun and games out there, I can tell you that. But it's yeah. The humans adapt to so many things that there are a lot of people. I know I've been in situations where uh, um, I look around and suddenly I'm doing about 10% of the things I used to be able to do, and I'm perfectly fine with that. I just adapted slowly over time to what it was doing, and like, well, wait a second, I'm going to gain that back. You haven't gotten that option to gain that back as of
It's
right
true.
now, and oh, I mean, to be able to do what you're doing now and enjoying yourself here online. First of all, good for you. Second of all, there's a lot of people who in your situation would have just curled up and said, "Forget it."
That's probably true. I don't think I ever really looked at that as an option.
Yeah.
I have gotten some things back.
Hmm.
I know we talked a little bit about your stomach stapling. So obviously when I got sick, I lost weight. Like you can't go from eating regular food to living off of bone broth and not lose weight, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
And while that was happening, I was kind of sitting there thinking about the fact that there were things that I couldn't do anymore that I could have done when I was younger. Like I don't
Mhm.
remember when the last time I went outside and climbed a tree is, but some point in my life, that was the last time.
Yeah.
And I was like, when was the last time I ran, squatted, jumped? Like as an adult human, those aren't things that we do a lot of. So when I started to lose the weight and then I started being able to eat again, I was like, we're going to take this as an opportunity to try to fix things that aren't healthy about myself anyway.
Mhm.
And I started tracking my macros and I started working out and now I can do some crazy things that I probably shouldn't be able to do at my age and I lift weights and I was telling my stream about this the other day, but like I own the house I live in. I got lucky. I bought it at the right time before the market went crazy in the US. It's a cheap, small, crappy house, but it's mine, okay?
That's right.
And so there was a tree that was like growing out towards my roof and I just went down and cut it down. And I said something about that and my chat was like, well, you did it by yourself? And I was like, well, yeah. Like, what was I going to do? Pay somebody? Like, no.
Yeah, yeah.
And it just didn't occur to me until after I said it that that isn't something that most adults do. And I don't know that I would have been able to do it 2 years ago. I just, when I got sick, I got healthier and
Yeah.
I forced myself to start stretching and lifting those weights and doing these squats and running so long on a treadmill every day just to try to keep myself from falling apart. And I structured my life around this crazy tight schedule. I would send you a screenshot of it. It looks like Double D from Ed, Ed, and Eddie when he like pulls up his PDA and it's just pop, 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 pop. That's me. I schedule every minute of my day basically up until like 11 o'clock. And then it says, right there, take sleep meds.
Yeah.
And then whatever happens after that, that's not my fault. And whoever got those messages last night about the weird penguin dream I was having. I am so sorry, guys. I can't always
Yeah.
control that. The meds are powerful and they do their job.
Yes,
But
exactly. Yeah, I saw that. I saw that. I saw that. You're like, okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
do love talking about how penguins were stealing my rainbows and sunshine. I don't know, man.
Stupid penguins.
But it's just when I was younger, I didn't have the option to fail. It's
Mm,
like you come from poverty, you learn that you either do or you die. And I
mm,
just never wanted to die.
yeah.
So I do.
Yeah.
I just keep trying.
Yeah. I'm thinking about your schedule that you got the double D schedule. Meanwhile, mine says buttered toast and it's spelled wrong. It's
That's all right. You can be the Ed to my double D. We'll find an Eddie. There's someone out there, I'm
oh,
sure.
believe me, I worked in radio for a long time. Those were the salespeople.
Oh, that's true.
And they know exactly what I'm talking about too. Uh, the so this is really a major chance for you to expand your horizon, isn't it? This VTuber stuff.
It is.
Mm. And
It gives
it, and even just a little ways into it, how how vast has it become for you?
um I mean, I think we're what 15 I'm 15 or so off of affiliate. So I went from like my 10 friends
Hmm.
that I expected to occasionally show up to 35 people showing up this week, and again, at least 4 or 5 of them are already people that I never met before this. And those couple of friends I have are people that I knew from before I kind of got locked into the house. So, like, a lot of them have been around long enough, and I appreciate them more than they know. But I sign off my stream a lot by, going, I'm Honeybat. You've been the bats in the chat. I love you, and I'll miss you until tomorrow. And I mean that because I keep myself busy with those schedules, but these people that show up and talk to me are sometimes the only connection I get for the whole day. And that sounds sad in a way, but it's not. Like, I have friends. That's not what I'm saying. I have family, but I can't go to an office and like hang out. So being able to hang out and be myself with whoever's there is just the highlight of my day.
Yeah.
I got kind of chewed out by some of the people I know because I streamed every day this week, and I was like, I'm still going to stream like 5 days a week after this.
Yeah.
I'm not burnt out after the stream. It's like the thing that burns me out is like going to make my clips and doing this. I just
Yeah.
I don't like listening to myself talk, and I have to do that to edit the video. It's very,
Yeah.
very painful.
Yeah.
But like spending time with everybody, that stuff makes me feel good. It makes
Yeah.
me happy. I smile. I had a repo night last night with my friend group, but I've expressed it that I would like to do things like that with the people from my chat. I
Yeah.
at some point, if there's enough people who are interested, would want to run like some one-off D&D sessions to get people into D&D. I like DMing. I enjoy doing these kind of group collaborative events because I can't go outside and collaborate with somebody at like a festival here to do something like I used to, and I
Right.
can't go into the kitchen and cook a meal for my family like I used to. It is just me, my 2 little kitties who live here, Neltharion and Onyxia.
Yeah.
I know you'll never guess where those names came from.
Yes.
We've
Yes.
renamed her to what is it? Onyxia Onigiri Ononos because she likes to run through the house and she is not smart and she gets soaking wet and then she'll just jump on me and stream.
Oh.
She turns on the sinks and stuff and then lays there.
Is she yellow or orange?
She's not.
Oh.
She's a tuxedo. Okay, so she showed up on my porch 7 days old, not even.
Yeah.
Her like at some point 3 or 4 days after my birthday this year.
Yeah.
I heard screaming on the porch, and there was just an abandoned, freshly born baby.
Yeah.
I was like, didn't want to try to do anything at that point. So like I gave her like a little heating pad, like, and some stuff, and put her inside of a little box with a cover on it. So her mom could come. Her mom never came back.
No.
So like I freaked out, brought her inside. We've bottle fed that baby and been her actual mommy since then.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was really great timing.
Yeah.
Because I really needed her.
The cat distribution service worked its magic. And
I don't know. Her and her brother are both less than a year old, and I had one more cat earlier this year, but she actually passed away right before my debut. That was rough because that was the cat I've had since I became an adult. Like the year I turned 18, I got that cat, and she passed.
Yeah, yeah. That's always tough. That's always tough. The two cats that Misty and I had when we got married have both passed away now. And Tinky and the Peanut were brothers to the hilt, and Peanut used to not like anybody, but he took to me immediately, which surprised the heck out of Misty when we were dating. And I would be able to, he didn't like being held, but if you turned him upside down and he trusted you, he would stretch all the way out on his back and go to sleep. He would be about 4 feet long. And you could do whatever you want with him at that point if he trusted you. That
sounds like my Neltharion, to be honest.
Oh, he was something else. Now we have 9 cats.
I'm kind of jealous, I'm not gonna lie. I thought I was signing up for a lot, having 3. Again, so thankful that Onyxia showed up when she did, because now that I have lost the one that's been around the whole time, the only thing that is helping is the fact that I have the 2 of them combined. Like I have to have both of them pushed against me when I'm sleeping, and then it almost is the same as when she slept on my chest every night. Yeah. Almost.
Well, we had 7 that came to our door after being spayed and released. And I think a lot of them are from the same litter. One of whom, who's named Smokey, my wife is sleeping on the couch, taking a nap. He will sit on her neck and give her kisses.
That's so cute.
And look at me and say, "I've got your woman."
I'm so lucky that I do not have a partner. I imagine that Neltharion would not deal well with that, because so this morning's a good example of that. He gets up into bed with me whenever he can hear me start waking up, if he's not already in there. And he army crawls like up to my face, and he gets his paws on either side of my face, and he'll sit there and like kind of make tiny biscuits and then just lick my chin. And if that doesn't work, then he starts like nibbling on me like, "Hey, wake up and scratch me."
Yes.
And he's just, are you rolling around on the floor because I'm talking about you?
Yeah.
That's the void of love over there.
Yeah. He knows where his bread is buttered, that's for sure.
I'll even send you a picture of the 2 of them. Just because like I have to share how perfect they are.
Yes.
He was 6 months old. Were you 6 months or 4 months?
Yeah.
No, he was 4 months old whenever Onyxia showed up, and I was terrified because she's like in here in a box on a heating pad. I'm trying to keep her alive. She's all like 186 grams, and he's like, "Let me in that box."
Yeah.
Let me in there. And I'm like, he's gonna eat her. He's gonna rough her up, and he has just been like, that's my baby.
Yeah.
He's been the sweetest little boy to her. Yeah. Like, helped me keep her warm. I forget sometimes that cats are colony creatures and very community oriented, because he looked at me and said, "No, Mom, I got this for the night. You go to sleep." And I'm like, you know what? Fine. That's fair.
Yeah. And the thing is too, if they hit it off right away, they'll pretty much stay hit it off. If they don't, they pretty much won't. And we have a few of them that don't.
Yeah, he's that's his baby, my baby. He's obsessed with both of us. He's very good little man.
Yeah, our first 2 cats were in this bunch were twins, a boy and a girl. The boy is the only one we have that has lion eyes color. He is orange and white. He is very fast, very strong, and very dumb.
That's a lethal combination.
Misty named him Sheldon after the TV show guy. and he is a big Jethro. He just he doesn't know his own strength. He crashes into things like a big doof.
I
And
make the joke a lot that Neltharion is just a burnt Cheeto because as much as I love Nel Nel, there is not a single brain cell
yes, there
behind
isn't.
it. It is pure love monster and nothing
Yeah,
else. Like if I get up and go to walk to the kitchen, he'll start meow,
yeah,
meow, having me follow him, and he won't look where he's going, and he'll just run straight into the walls.
yeah, yeah. No,
He's lived here his whole life, basically,
it,
still runs into
so
walls.
Sheldon actually will fetch and bring it back to you to throw again. He's
Yep.
but the
I
other
think our cats would get along. Nell does that too. Like
uh,
it'll happen in the middle of stream. I have to like fight him off because he'll like poke me in the side to try to
mm,
get me to pick up his mouse to throw it.
oh yeah, yeah. I've gotten my entire left leg is filled with holes thanks to those
Mm,
guys. Just
we're twinning. I love that for us.
yeah, it's like no pain. Um, I tell you what, I'm glad you have this out. I'm not happy that you're in this situation, obviously, of what's going on because I like to see everybody who succeed where they're at. But my old phrase, it still hits: is people are not the product of their circumstances; they're the triumph that emerges from those circumstances. And you are well on your way to being that triumph. And I don't think you're going to stop until you are.
Well, I'm not good at taking positive feedback. I thank you. I will stick with
Knocked you right off the chair to that one.
it.
But
Really did.
but it's true. I mean, you've they'll say adapt, adopt, and improve. It's just you're just not going to stay down. That's just all there is to it. Um, you're just going to keep working and getting what you can back and enjoying yourself and trying to help other people enjoy themselves. That says a lot about a person. What they're really made of, and anybody that roots against you is stupid and dumb. At this point.
That's fair. I hope anybody who hears that feels the same way.
Yeah. Well, they can come talk to the old man if they feel different, and I'll just talk their
I
ear off.
accept that there's going to be people who aren't going to like me or like the way I am, and that's fine.
Mm,
That's the worst part is I expect to get people in my chat who are going to say things about my VTube design, my voice, my
mm,
laugh,
mm,
anything. And you know what? That's their right. But gosh, at the end of the day, I feel like I've always looked at it the same way because I used to get so much hate in so many of these MMOs that I've played for being a girl and being a guild lead or being a raid lead or doing anything. Like it's always the same thing, right?
yeah.
I don't care. I
Yeah.
just don't. I hope that you get those poisons out of your system, and if putting them at me helps them get out of your system, that's fine. I'll absorb it for you. I'll just take some charcoal afterwards. It'll be fine.
Yeah. Well,
Like,
here's the thing. You've already proven that you're tougher than 99% of the people that you're going to go up against. I
good
mean,
point. Good point.
let's face this. I mean, none of those people who are yappy enough to complain about something as ridiculous as that would ever be able to do what you've done. I mean, come on. Let's face it. Let's face facts here. I mean,
I don't know. I don't know that I've done all that much, but I feel like you're making me feel like I've done something good now. So like keep it up. It's cool. Like fill my ego.
yeah, no, it's the truth. I mean, I think anybody with a discerning mind at all would realize this, and they can just take a jump into space as far as I'm concerned, because um, and that's something that too people don't realize when they talk to somebody, whether it's just meeting somebody for the first time or on the net, they don't know exactly what they've been through. They
Mhm.
don't, and that's something everybody should remember when you're talking to somebody. There's a reason.
There's
Yeah, there's a reason why I ask everybody before we do an interview. Is there something you'd want me to avoid?
mhm.
Because I don't want to
I
hurt them.
think there's that video where they're doing like street interviews and they run up to this random guy and he says like, never contribute to malice, what can be contributed to ignorance. You don't know what's going on in everybody's life. Everybody is just as complicated as you are. Nobody's an NPC. And I laugh about that a lot because they give him such mad props for this, as he's like some crazy guru. And I agree. Now that I've had more exposure to more people, I realize that there is just something about us walking down the street. Like, we don't think about things like that. And it's just something that I have been aware of. And it sounds silly to say that, but like, I don't know. I guess because I had, we'll go with a complicated childhood. We all have complicated childhoods. It's something I've always been aware of. Like, I could go to a friend's house and say something that sounded completely normal to me that happened at my house, and they would just look at me and be like, why would you think that that's normal? And I'd be like, oh, okay, other people's lives are different. Okay, like, you have to just keep in mind, like, you don't know the day that that person's had. You don't know the trauma that they've been through before this, what they've overcome to even just be able to go outside. There are people out there who maybe not like me, can't because of sunshine or have to struggle because of sunshine, but because of something that happened or something that they experienced a couple years ago that comes up on certain days. And you never know. Everybody's life is complex, and it's not like you're playing The Sims. You can't just say go outside and they face their fears. You don't know what's going on in their soul that could make them not want to be there or have hatred towards a specific person. But what you can do is you can ask and you can try to know, and you can't necessarily stay ignorant and stay hateful if people try their best to explain their side and help you through it.
Yeah.
And maybe that's too generous. Maybe I don't need to help everyone in the world, but that's what I want to do. So I'm just going to keep trying.
Yeah. And I'm at that age now where I accept all help. So just come. But really, that's absolutely perfect and brilliant, and I wouldn't expect anything less at this point. You are one heck of a princess.
Well, thank you.
And I want to talk to you again because
absolutely, this was fun. I had a great time.
Thank you. Because we got to get you on again. Because we got a lot more to talk about, and I absolutely believe that. Folks are going to need to check out what you have to offer. We're going to have all the links we've been able to find for Princess Honeybat in the links in the description for this video. And if you've stayed with us through these minutes, you've just met a pretty terrific individual. And you need to know this person. Thank you so much for coming on. It's an honor to talk to you.
Absolutely. I really, again, have enjoyed this. Thank you so much for your time. I know you got a busy life with all these amazing interviews you've been doing with these amazing VTubers that I hope to be anything remotely close to. I've watched too many of these in the last few days to count, and they have been wonderful. Everybody here is just such amazing, unique individuals.
Yep. And I'm the one that gets to talk to him.
Jealous.
Yeah. Talk to you again real soon. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Eric.
Thank you for listening to Eric Loy Interviews. Join us again next time when we talk to another member of the always interesting VTuber community.